Moonies! Welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. I'm your host, Victoria L. Johnson, and I'm here with multi-hyphenated music artist and CCTV podcast host, Chantel Nicole. Hey, Chantel!
Hi, Victoria. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Moonies.
Welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast.
I'm so happy to be here. Like, seriously, dream come true.
Oh my god, no! I'm so happy to have you. This is so awesome.
I agree. I'm a fan for sure. Been listening and watching, and I'm mostly on YouTube watching the screen, but listening for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm always appreciative to anyone who listens at all. So thank you.
Of course, the love is real. It has to be real. When I reach out, I'm definitely like, hey, do I like this person and their brand and their thing? And I was like, oh yeah, I like her. I like all of it. So
Yeah, no, it's so important to do that. I still feel the same way with guests because I'm like, if someone reaches out or I'm reaching out, I'm just like, is this person cool? What's the vibe I'm getting? I'm like, oh yeah, this person's dope. I need to get them on the show.
Right, exactly. See, same wavelength here.
Definitely. Well, speaking of same wavelengths, or I don't know, we're both here talking about Sailor Moon. What's your first memory of watching Sailor Moon?
Okay, so my first memory is quite simple. As most young Americans, especially the Black Americans, we would come home from school and watch Toonami. So I remember coming home, and right after I think it was like the Great Seiya or something like that, the Seiya Warriors, like all those Zodiac Warriors. Right after that, there was like this blonde-headed chick, and I was like, oh my gosh, this white girl's kind of cute. I like her. Like, she's really cute with her little skirt. And I went to like a private school, and I saw that she was wearing a uniform. So instantly didn't know anything about it, didn't know the song or anything, but I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I like it. She's really pretty. And I left it at that. And then on a trip to like a Cablevision, I saw it again on like a display television, and she was trapped inside of a tennis ball because of a villain in the first season trapped her inside of a tennis ball. So I was like, oh my god, I have to watch this show. I have to find out what it is. So I watched the full Toonami like anime block, and I found out it was Sailor Moon, and that's literally like my first memory of it. Very vivid.
That is, yeah. Toonami is everything, really.
For
I love
sure.
Toonami.
For sure. Tom held us down. Like, nobody knows, no one appreciates a good VJ. Well, he doesn't like a VJ, but like, an anime VJ. No one appreciates them anymore, I guess.
Yeah, like a moderator or something. I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great.
I love Tom. Tom was great.
Tom did his thing.
You mentioned a few things, like I remember the episode where she turns to a tennis ball. It's like hilarious.
Yes.
Do you have any other favorite moments or episodes that you like from the show?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, from the 90s one, definitely. I feel like the Crystal, it was just really straight on from the manga, right? But the 90s one had so many like fluff episodes and such. I think one of my favorite episodes, it's so hard. But one of my favorite episodes is probably the Birthday Blues dubbed episode. I had the uncut version from a Blockbuster, and I have the cassette where it was Sailor Moon's birthday, and Darien completely forgot, and she slapped the ever-living crap out of him. And I was like, whoa, why did she just hit her boyfriend? But yeah, I remember watching it on television. It was inexplicable at the time, but when I got the cassette, I was like, oh, still not justified, but that's probably one of my favorite episodes, because then he came with the shoe, and then Sailor Venus pretended to be her. So like, that's definitely something that stood out. And I thought she was going to die that episode, because I think the Heart Snatchers like snatched her heart for a bit. So yeah, that was an interesting episode for sure.
Yeah, that was a good one. Wait, are you talking about when it was her birthday and she lost her powers? Is that where?
Oh no, it was the episode where it was like Darien, she's like, guess what day it is? And he's like, I don't know. She's like, really? Something happened, but she slapped the crap out of him. And he's like, I really don't know what's wrong. And I think one of the scouts were like, it's her birthday, dude. So he got her a diamond shoe, but a diamond, like Tomo's diamond was in it. And he put the shoe on her. She goes, oh my God, Darien. She's like, I'm sorry for like slapping you. He's like, I'm sorry, I forgot your birthday. He puts the shoe on her, and then all of a sudden the diamond comes out, and she's like, I've come for your heart crystal. You know how they.
Yeah, I remember this now. I totally remember this now. Yeah, he had like a little mark on his cheek and everything.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And then Sailor V had to pretend to be her because she had been, she was in
Right.
front of the villains, and she's like, "That's not Sailor Moon." I think the outer Senshi were there as well, and she's like, "That's not Sailor Moon. That girl could never be me."
Right.
That was like the last time we actually saw like the disguise pen even used in the anime, I believe, too. So I was like, dang.
Yeah. I love the disguise pin. I always wish they used it more because it's such a
For sure.
cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, she had so many cool attacks and different things that were really interesting. Like, the disguise pen was lit that first season. She's like, I'm a flight attendant. I'm a teacher. Would have been great.
Definitely.
Yes, yes, yeah. So I
Yeah.
think it was like a wasted opportunity. And then
Mhm.
her odango like ornaments were always like alarms when she started crying. Like they never used it, but hey, what can you do?
Yeah, she could like it was like she had like super hearing almost
Yeah,
through them. They
yeah,
never used it, or even like she stopped using her tiara at some point. I
for
guess it was maybe it
sure.
wasn't as strong after a while, but yeah, it's little things like that. I do wish they use more too,
Mm-hmm.
especially the disguise pin. Like I love the disguise pin. I have a little keychain with it that I keep
I'm
on me.
jealous.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Any like Sailor Moon items or accessories or like replicas, I wish I
Mhm.
could just get, but it's like, when you're doing like your singer thing, it's like, do I buy this replica compact or do I pay for the session? Okay, I think I'll pay for the session, So,
Yeah. Although I
so
did recently see on
mm.
eBay, and I'm most likely gonna get it this week. They had like an
What?
actual fountain pen that
Ah!
it looks like the disguise pen, and I'm like, this is so cool. And it was like maybe $10. It's not like obviously anything like
Right, but
officially
still.
made, but I was like, this is so cool, and I want it. And
Yes.
they had like each of the transformation pins too, and they're actually pens. And I'm like, if you can like switch out the ink, I'm getting
Yes.
these.
Yes. The functionality is what's important. It's not like, oh, this is just my prompt. Like the functionality is what makes it important. And when you can use it, it's worth the
Yeah, that's my rule to
coins.
myself now. Well, at least I
Yeah.
try to keep to this rule is I, like when I buy things for like from like the fandom or like any
Hmm.
fandom, I try to make it functional too. So like I'll buy a mug or a blanket or like, a pen.
Right.
So I don't buy I end up not buying a lot of posters.
Yeah.
Just because even though I love them, but I'm just like they're just gonna accumulate and I only have so many walls and I don't know what to do. Um, but yeah.
Right. No, I agree. I don't have any Sailor Moon posters. I have a lot of K-pop posters though. Um, then I have a Sailor Moon like a pop Funko and like my cassettes and my DVDs. I refuse to get rid of those. I don't care even if I don't even have a VHS player. I kind of do, but it's a little out of whack. But I refuse to get rid of my cassettes and my DVDs.
I feel exactly the same. I still have VHS tapes and I will never get rid of them
Yeah,
because
for real.
I don't know. It's just, and it's so hard too, especially if you have the movies. 'Cause you
Hmm.
can't really find it with like the same music anymore, or it's just like a
Yes.
bunch of things they took out. And I'm like, I
Yes.
need to keep these so I can preserve it for myself. And just 'cause
Yes.
it's so pretty and I never want to get rid of it.
I agree. I wish I had a better place for it though. I have it like sitting on a shelf and I'm like, oh, this is so tacky. You deserve better.
I know. One of my dreams is like, I swear, the only reason I want a house is just so I can have like a space dedicated to all my Sailor Moon things.
Yes. Oh my God. When I see like Moonies do that, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I've seen
Yeah.
somebody with a whole shelf in like a glass case, and then she has like a $600 um like prop. I forgot what it was, like a full figure with the moon heart compact and Super Sailor Moon. I was like, geez, Louise, cost like $600, but she was like, it was worth the money. I bet.
Yeah, I believe it. I totally agree. Was it a Chiba Wolf by any chance? I know she has a really great collection and she has some like pretty
I think it was.
yeah.
Now that you
Her,
say the name, yeah,
yeah, her collection
yeah,
is amazing and I'm
it's
like goals. Goals.
yeah,
I
yes,
need
but
to
it's like
like get
six
all my
hundred
stuff in one place.
dollars.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh
definitely, I
my
agree.
god. Mhm. We talked a lot about Sailor Moon. I'm wondering, do you have a favorite Sailor Scout slash Senshi?
I definitely do. So primary, it's definitely Sailor Moon. And I know I feel like a lot of people might say like I'm main character, but no, seriously, like when it comes to being late all the time, when she says, "Oh yeah, I'm Sailor Moon, I'm kind of a klutz," I'm like, "Ooh, yep." There's footage of me tripping all over the place. I'm definitely a crybaby. Uh, but I'm also very passionate about like, my friendships as well. Like I noticed that even though the parents were super absent in the series, Like there was not a stress on the relationship with the parents as much as there was a relationship with like the friends or something like that, or her boyfriend. So I'm very much that kind of person where my friends are really super important to me. And I'm a bit dramatic, and I get jealous easily as well. I'm working on it. You know, when you get older, you realize like, you know, acting like an anime character is probably not the best idea. But my secondary character, in the sense of like my shadow self, my other personality, is definitely Mars, and Venus, because Venus is definitely like she and Usagi share a brain for sure. Like boy crazy, really bright, really sweet person. And Mars as well. She can be standoffish, but I always noticed that she never spoke unless she had something to say, or if she was trying to tell Usagi to get her crap together, like, come on, study, or come on, be brave. Like, this is your time to do well. This isn't the time to worry. Do what you have to do so that we can all, you know, succeed. So those three are definitely Senshi that I resonate with. Can I ask you what your favorite Senshi is?
Yeah, of course. I'm and very much in the same boat with you. With I love Sailor Moon for similar reasons. Like I really value my friends. I think she is just such a cool character. Like I think you know she's so relatable, and I love that she can be a crybaby and can like own her fears, but also like step up to the plate when it's time to step up to the plate and do anything for her friends. And I also love eating and sleeping and reading manga like she does. So it's just like, oh, this person is pretty much me. Like I don't cry as much, I don't think, but I definitely like feel like everything else. I'm like, this person just feels like me. Other than that, I think Sailor Neptune and Sailor Pluto are just really cool. I love that like Pluto's like gatekeeper of time and space. And I
Mhm.
just like bad bitch. Like
Yes. Yeah, and I love she was brown. Come on now.
right, that
I was like,
too. I didn't
yes.
realize that till later, and I was just like, oh my god.
Right.
And then Neptune, I also just think she's just like really cool. I've always just like admired her, just like being like just super cool.
Yeah, she's very classy. I remember watching her and I was like, "Oh my god, she's so classy. She's sophisticated." Like
Right.
without be like her and Mars, I feel like are very similar, but Mars is standoffish where she's a little bit more like, "Come, you can talk to me, but you know, you have like 5 minutes." Mars is like, "I don't have time. Please, unless you're gonna say something important, like please go." Like she's very standoffish. But not in a way where it's like mean, because I definitely have friends that come across as like Mars, where they're like very beautiful, very intelligent, very articulate, but you don't know if they don't like you or not until you get to know them. But with Neptune, she was more like, "You are welcome here. Come, let's talk about this." Very rational.
Definitely. And there's a bell going off, so hopefully it doesn't pick up. It might. I don't know. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I completely agree totally with that. I think, yeah, she's just like the cool girl. Just like, I feel like, and I say this too, where I'm like, I think I am a Sailor Moon, but like, sometimes I
Mhm.
aspire to be like a Sailor Neptune. Like,
Right. The aspirations are there.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
all
you're
cool and
right.
collected, have all my stuff
Yeah.
together.
One can only
Yeah.
wish. One can only- I mean, just a little side note about your bell. I guess you were calling Pegasus. But yeah, I agree with you. I think for aspiration goals was definitely Neptune. She's cool. But I don't think I have a mature aspiration. I need to like take notes from you for sure.
It's hard, but yeah, you have to aspire to somebody or something.
Maybe I should try to pick one, but hopefully it comes to me a little bit later. But for now, I picked like the three most not immature ones, but I guess Ray is she's my balance. I guess she's the fulcrum that kind of keeps the craziness kind of left or right, like Venus or Serena. Wow, Venus or
It's funny
Usagi,
how that is a thing. Yeah, I've
right?
thought about that at some point. I was like, wow, Venus and Serena. But yeah, um, but yeah, I think Ray is a good balance. Like you said, she is the one who's like, get it together, stop being late. Like, what are you doing with your life? Even though
Yes,
she also can be like a little all over the place, but I feel like she mostly is grounded, especially in the manga, even more so in the manga. But in the
for
90s
sure,
anime,
for sure.
even she's still very grounded and like, get it together, Serena. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I feel like every single time something went down too. I think because I like Ray, I have friends. My closest friends resemble kind of like a Ray personality or like a Makoto personality, where in a lot of the movies, Ray was the one. If something went down, like in the Promise of the Rose movie, when 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 Darian got kidnapped and everyone's like, getting beat up by these dang flowers, Ray was the one who threw Usagi down the hill. Was like, you have to go.
Right.
In the Dream movie, she's like putting her forehead against Usagi's and is like, it's going to be okay. So I feel like I have friends that do that for me. So even if I am kind of like a bit of a meatball head or a dango head, whatever you want to call it, I like meatball head. It was cute. Even if I am a bit of a meatball head, I do have that kind of grounded and I aspire to be like that. But luckily, I have friends for that.
Yeah, it's so important. I think
Yeah.
that's I think that's another
it's
thing that
it's Haruka. It's
oh yeah, that's good.
Haruka.
It's on our way to see nature. Um, yeah, I think that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate Ray for that because they always see them as like adversaries and like rivals, but she really is the
hmm
one who looks out for Serena slash Usagi like a lot of the times. Even like when Darien gets kidnapped in season one in season two or season one, actually season by
yes. Yeah.
Megaverse and
Yes.
in season one, and she's like, get it together, like slaps her and it's like, you need to like keep it together, like we're gonna find him, like it's gonna be fine. But like that tough
Right.
love is so
Right.
important. It's something that she needs sometimes, I think.
For sure. Because I feel like everyone kind of enables her a little bit, just a wee bit.
Hmm.
I feel like
Yeah, or
where
just like
Makoto's
doesn't
like,
even like hold her accountable. Hmm.
right. Right, exactly. And Ray was like, honey, no, 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 no. Which I appreciate for sure, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, talk about all your favorite Sailor Senshi scouts. But you too have been doing some things. You have Sailor Moon inspired music video for Here I Am, I believe.
Oh, that's right. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you
not the only
know?
reason. I mean, you're just like
Of course.
successful and a Sailor Moon fan. But yeah,
Oh.
so tell me about
Mhm,
how did you like come up with that idea for a music video? Like, how did you think
mm.
to incorporate Sailor Moon in the music video?
Aha, okay. So, I didn't mention this before, but my mom calls me Shanny Moon, right? Or she used to call me Shanny Moon.
Cute.
Now it's just Shan. Um, but yeah, so Shanny Moon came to be for this video because when I was writing the song, I was thinking to myself, like Whitney Houston's "I'm Your Baby Tonight" and a bunch of other like just I'm here for you, like I'm your girl kind of things. And the way the lyrics were going, it was very much I'm saving this person from a bad relationship. And I thought, okay, who does this? Like, and even at the bridge, it's like, my love will set you free, never fear, love is here. And I'm like, who embodies this? And it was just Sailor Moon for me. Even when I was talking to the choreographer about the movement, I said, I need a circle. I need this to look like Sailor Planet Attack right now. I need to look like, the Sailor Transport. I just had Sailor Moon in mind for this song, for the music video specifically as well. And my friend Chris, who also hosts the CCTV podcast, he was like, "Oh, do you need dancers? Just let me know." I'm like, "Yes, I want you," because he just looks like Mamo in my mind. I was like, "Okay, the tall, skinny guy with like the black hair, this would be perfect." And I knew I wanted the video to just have all the like symbolism or imagery from the anime. I'm in a dress. I wanted Princess Serenity. I wanted to have that feel. I wanted people to look at it and be like, "Oh my gosh, is this what I think it is?" To see the roses on the wall and think, "Oh my gosh, the Cassinian blossoms and the flowers and the roses." Even when I was dancing in the suits and the jackets, I was thinking Tuxedo Mask and King Endymion. How can I tie all this different imagery from Nako's creation and make it my own, make it something that a Mooney could appreciate, but also a fan say, why does she have a this thing on her head? Someone thought I had a bindi and thought I was like half Desi, I think it is. But I said, no, 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 please don't. No, it's a moon, first of all, and don't have me out here getting canceled. But it created a dialogue with this person. So people are definitely noticing and I totally appreciate it. So thank you for noticing certain things. Did you have like a look or anything that like stood out to you, or something that you remember from the video?
I think the biggest one was, I mean, I guess the obvious one where you just have like the moon crescent on your forehead, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is definitely what you're going for, because I think sometimes I'll watch videos from other artists, and I'm like, oh, this feels Sailor Moon inspired, but I'm not sure. But that was the point when I was just like, okay, this is definitely Sailor Moon inspired.
It's like, oh, okay, she got a crescent on her head, right?
Yeah, and that's what was just like really pretty and just like very like I don't know. But now I have to go back and see this Mamo character guy in the look-alike.
Chris was wearing a mask the whole time, so it's hard to tell. But I mean, if you think about it, the '90s manga really did the '90s manga. The '90s anime really did play Mamo or Darren,
Hmm.
whatever you want to
Yeah,
call him. But yeah, it played him. It made him come across as like a little wimp. Like he's getting kidnapped. He doesn't have any powers. Blah blah blah. Like at least in the manga, and then in the crystal version, you see him using his powers more. The bomber, his healing powers, him being more connected with his earthly nature instead of just I'm throwing a rose and giving you advice, and then flapping away with the sound of castanets and a Spanish guitar, right?
yeah,
So it's like, okay, just give him some purpose here. Um, so yeah, I mean, he did get kidnapped quite a bit. And so in the music video, there is a little bit of a love triangle, where I am protecting him or my friend Chris from the other female dancer, because she is Beryl, she is Fish Eye, she is Nehelania. But yeah, I'm protecting him from this bad girl or this bad person. Yeah, so my friend was embodying that. And then at the end, he honestly, Chris played so many roles in this. So shout out to Chris. He played like a random passerby guy, and then he played Mamo, and then at the end, he actually was Sailor Jupiter because I gave him a pink jacket, a pink blazer.
I see now.
So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think if people watch it, they'll see Chris becoming different characters for sure, and all the other dancers going from like maybe villains, and then becoming the Senshi themselves.
I feel like you just gave me so much more context. I need to like rewatch this whole video and just like watch with all of that in mind. I'm also realizing in the beginning you wore a tux, which I'm guessing is like a tuxedo mask,
That was
possibly.
yeah, girl. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's like 8 looks. There's supposed to be 12. So if you there's 8 looks in this video. So a lot of videos typically kind of incorporate one scene, couple B
Mhm.
shots, and stuff like that. But this one, I was like, no, 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 I need all the looks. I even had like a villain scene where I kind of dressed up as Black Lady, a Black Lady dressed up as Black Lady.
Hilarious.
Um and I had a Witches 5 look as well. But those
Mm.
two actually did not make the
Yeah, I feel
cut.
like I need the
So yeah.
like Chantel cut or something of this
Yeah,
video.
I think I might release it for
Yeah.
sure. Because I was like,
Sh-
dang it, I didn't waste money, but
Share the
you know.
looks. We need to see all the looks. All of the looks.
Yeah, all 12 of them. But yeah, no, the video is definitely stimulating in the sense where it's like there's a lot happening. And when I edited it, I wanted to kind of have a story be told, you know? I was taking a lot of inspiration from all the seasons of Sailor Moon. So yeah, hopefully people can spot them. And I hope you can find some more Easter eggs because there's a lot.
Yeah, I think I definitely will when I rewatch it now, like realizing that there's like Easter eggs in every I'm even noticing at the end, like you said, everyone is wearing like a different colored blazer, or
Mhm,
and so
mhm,
I'm just
mhm.
like in the circle you mentioned. So I'm like, oh my god, this just went all over like way over my head last time I watched this. So I feel like if I rewatch it now, I'm gonna be like, oh, I get everything.
See, I appreciate that. And you're very observant. So, I feel like you can, now that you see, like, oh, wow, that's what that is. Oh, okay, okay. And I couldn't get a crystal heart because I found one on Etsy, but it costs like money.
Yeah,
So I actually have like a giant diamond serving as like the silver crystal. So I put it toward my eye and twist it, and there's like a little kaleidoscope of like Princess Serenity happening in that video. So there's a lot of little things to like
okay.
really kind of hone in on.
I love it. I feel like is that like Professor Tomo too? I'm thinking because that's what I was kind of like thinking of just now.
Oh, come on now, come through, come through. Yes, thank you. Oh my God, I feel so seen. You don't know. oh, someone asked me before, like, oh, what is the hardest thing about like, translating your music and your vision to your fans? And I'm like, it's not the fans, it's the people, like the pre-production. Like, hey, can you make like a Sailor Moon kind of theme? What's what? Oh my god, you never seen Sailor Moon? No, like everyone's so caught up. Either they know like DBZ or they just don't know anime. So like me explaining, this is magical girl. Give me magical girl in this production. Give me magical girl when you're lighting this thing. Oh my gosh. So thank you for seeing me.
Anytime. Anytime. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Because there is a certain aesthetic there. And it's like, if you don't know it, I don't know, like, what to tell you. Just like, that's just what it is.
Right, right. So the fans and the viewers definitely catch it. And if they don't, they're like, maybe I don't want to say the wrong thing, but is it? And then I say, yeah. And they go, yeah, great. Even if you're unsure, dude, you still have an inkling, but man. So yeah, again, thank you.
If you were to do another anime inspired music video, what anime would you choose?
Not you with the question I never got before. Okay.
Hey,
Oh,
that's like
snap.
my goal in every interview. What?
Whoa. I'm like genuinely stumped. Holy poop. Oh, okay. What I will tell you is eventually I will be for my next project. I haven't gotten there yet, but for my next project, just to kind of give a little bit of a hint for people, I'm still going to go with the Sailor Moon theme, but it's going to be more like Chibiusa, where it's going to be Black Lady. So I'm going to go for a Dark Moon concept, but it's going to be a little bit. The only thing that's going to be really identifiable is the pink hair, but I'm leaning more toward like a Fooly Cooly kind of themed music video.
That's
Have you seen
I
Fooly Cooly?
have, and that's gonna be so
Yes.
cool.
Me
I
too.
want to see Chibiusa in a Fooly Cooly styled animation now, and I'm kind of sad it doesn't exist.
you know, we can only wish in our dreams. So like the whole thing is just okay, I'll give you a little teaser. So it's called Loveless, and of course Chibiusa felt that way.
Mhm.
Um, and I was like, okay, what character has like pink hair? And like I wrote a song that does not fit on this project, but it fits on Loveless a little bit more. The current project now is Chroma, so it's a little bit more about colors and like chromesthesia. There's like this there's this cognitive thing that happens with people when they hear certain songs. They can see color. I can't pronounce it.
I know what you're
Um,
talking about, but I
but
also can't pronounce it. But I know what you're talking about.
so I just sound majorly illiterate right now. But I'm glad you know. But yeah, so it is a cognitive like thing that happens where you hear and you see the color. So that's Chroma for this project. But the next project, Loveless, it has like this guitar riff, and I'm like, what song has a guitar riff? Oh my god, the theme song for Fooly Cooly, like the pillows, duh. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lock this in. I'm gonna get the goggles, keep the pink hair, and it's gonna be like really turned up guitar. And I want it to be fun. So yeah, that's a little teaser, Fooly Cooly for next
I
time.
cannot wait to see that. That sounds like it's gonna be so much fun. And then I'm gonna try and pronounce it. I just googled it, but Chromesthesia or color synthesia.
Yes, color synthesia. I feel like that's a little bit easier to say than chromesthesia.
Yeah.
So,
Or sound to
so
color
yeah, I mean,
synthesia. That's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the kind of feeling I want to evoke in people. I want them to hear the song and think "Fighting Evil" by Moonlight, but "Winning Love" by Daylight, because the song is really sultry in the beginning. It's just me whispering and singing about how the girl has lied to you so many times, and then as the song progresses, I start using a brighter tone. I'm starting to belt a little bit more. There's a rap in there. There's a whole belting in the bridge. No one does bridges anymore, and I'm like, I want this bridge to really crescendo. So it definitely embodies that. And then each single has a shantone, which is like a pantone card. So each single that I release will have a certain color or colors designated to the song, just so people can get an idea of what it might sound like. So yeah, I'm doing Roy G Biv minus the I, so just Roy G BV right now, because 6 songs is enough, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I feel like indigo is always just like a weird, like it's blue purple. So like, why are we adding something extra here?
Come on now, Victoria, you already know. You already know.
So yeah, I think you could totally leave out the eye. I think also that is a really cool idea. I love Pantones. I think they're just like really neat, and I think like having an album And then like you having like the synth and something. I think that's just like super cool. And shout out to I Love Brandon who's on the podcast. He also has this and he actually can pronounce it. So if you want to listen to that episode, he pronounces it really well.
Dang, should have watched it before I do.
Yeah. But that's such a cool idea. I
Mm,
cannot wait for you to release each song.
thank
How many
you.
songs or like was this the first single or how many where are we in this
Oh,
process?
okay. So, 2019, I released like a little buzz single called "Like It." I have songs from a previous project called "The Me and You." It's like a digital like triptych where I tell a story, beginning, middle, end of a relationship. I like you, I want you, I miss you. So you can tell, beginning, I like you, middle, I want you, oh yeah, baby, and at the end they break up, obviously. Um, uh, so Chroma is non-canon, so it has nothing to do with Chroma at all. So I wanted to start fresh, and I released a like bilingual track called "Like It," and it's sung in Spanish and English. Not a lot of Spanish, but just enough to kind of make people think I'm fluent.
That's all you
And
need.
yeah, yeah, now. And that was the yellow color. That one was like really flirty because I don't have songs like where I'm just saying, "Hey, talk to me nice." And I might put it on you. I don't have songs like that, so I put a song on this project that embodies like that flirty, yellowy kind of green color where it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of kind of like spring, kind of sunny. We like it. And the green is like part of your heart chakra and whatnot. So it's like it's meant to entice you. It's meant to kind of hit your heart in a certain way. And it's fun. It's like a little dance break in it. So I have 6 songs on Chroma, but I only have Like It Out, which is track 3, and Here I Am, which is track 2. So there's what? I can't count. 4 more tracks left. 4 more
What's
tracks for
the
sure.
first track again?
The first track, oh, like the one I released was Like
Okay,
It.
so Like It, Here I
Yeah.
Am, and then what's the third one?
Oh, there's no third one
Oh,
just yet, but like the first, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I kind of went back into like the beginning of time just then with my
no,
explanation. But yeah, my first project had the 3, but now this one has 6, but I only released 2.
no,
So
I,
yeah.
you know what? I like my brain. I was like, Reggie Biv is 7. He said there's 4 left, so there must be 3 left, but I forgot we're leaving off I. So there's,
That's right.
okay.
That I gotta
It's just,
go.
I'm not quick with
And
math. Things don't always happen well. Numbers aren't my
it's
thing, but
okay.
we
It's
got
totally okay.
it.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, I'm gonna try to release a deluxe version. We'll see. Um, so it might not be like Roy G. Biv. It might just be like random colors. I decide like a random bright pink, hot ass pink, a chartreuse. I don't know, maybe a mauve. We'll
Ooh, I
see.
love a good mauve or mauve. One of them.
I love a good.
Mauve. That is super cool. I think it'll be awesome. Either way you do it, I totally look forward to purple, which is my favorite color. Or if you want to do a lavender, I like lavender too. Look forward to it.
Or lavender.
Yeah.
Look at your
Just,
suggestions.
throwing that out there. You don't have to. Just.
No, it's fine. I mean, a lot of the Shantones have gradients, so I'm not mad at that gradient at all. So I'll consider it if it represents the last song.
Okay.
Totally.
I,
Lavender.
I, I respect your artistic integrity.
Oh, thank you, but I'm flexible. I think because the work is not complete, I'm open to suggestion because with Here I Am, I wrote that song a year ago with a K-pop songwriter, and it was supposed to be for a girl group, and then a year later I released it as mine. So listen, I'm fluid when it comes to my creativity.
All right. Okay. Well, watch out for the lavender song, y'all. It's coming.
Oh, I just hit my table. Sorry,
You're good.
I'm a knee slapper. I'm sorry.
um, well, we kind of talked a bit about K-pop. I didn't know you wrote for with K-pop writers and for K-pop writers. I think it's super cool. Or K-pop artists. When did you get into K-pop, and who are some of your favorite artists? Who do you stan?
Who do you stand? All right, so just to clarify, unfortunately, I have not gotten into any big rooms with anyone yet, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole game. you make the demos, you do what you can, and you send it out. And if they don't want it, they don't want it. You move on. But yeah, I had a mentorship with Chick, and she wrote for EXO and a lot of Shiny Track, and then Weki Meki and a bunch of other artists. Um, so when I wrote this song, it was part of that mentorship, and she said, "Okay, just write." And I said, "Okay." All right. I wrote a boy group song, and I finished that fairly quickly. But then Here I Am, I wrote, and I was like, "Okay, she's gonna like it." She did. She had like one note, but it wasn't like I wasn't gonna take the note. Sorry, Chick. Because I like the way the song progressed with the critique that she had. I was like, oh, I like it. But yeah, so I've been into K-pop for like a really long time. So a lot of my songs kind of have that kind of, not even kind of, they have a dynamic where you'll have a verse, you might have a rap in the second verse, just something to make it more interesting. Because if you listen to the same melody for too long, it gets a little bit boring. Well, at least for me. So my writing reflects storytelling, it reflects the changing in production. And ever since I got into K-pop, like around maybe 2008, I appreciated that kind of notion. I mean, granted, a lot of K-pop is derived from American and Western music in general, um, but they have taken what we started and have like transcended concepts where like, oh, let's combine R&B and dubstep and then this random jazz breakdown in this song, and I'm like, oh, not my favorite kind of combination, but at least you're taking a risk, right?
Mhm.
um and yeah, so I appreciate that kind of thing. And a lot of black people write for them too, so just want to throw
That's
that out there.
surprising.
um Come on now, we out here. But yeah, one of my like first artists I got into and still really enjoy is Poa.
Yes.
Poa actually, come on now, come on
Put some
now.
respect.
Any
Yeah.
anime fan who watched Inuyasha heard every heart. I was like, oh my god, every heart. Oh, this is so good. Who sang this song? I come to find out, I'm like, this Japanese. She's not Japanese. Okay, this is in Japanese, but she's singing in Korean. She's Korean, singing in Japanese. Okay, what's happening? Did research. She's a Korean girl who's been in the game since she was like what, 13,
Long
14,
time.
and has been, and I'm like, yo, who is doing it like her? We had like Britney Spears, we have Beyonce, maybe does like her whole B-Day album in Spanish, right? But Boa was out here doing Japanese, Chinese, English, and she had just come out with Eat You Up and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa. And granted, I love American artists. I love American pop. Like back in the 90s, we were holding it down. Like the whole Max Martin sound and all that stuff like that. We were holding it down. Dark Child. We had it on lock. But like I said, K-pop has just transcended the concepts that we've developed. And hopefully we can get back to it. Hopefully we can. But yeah, it definitely influences the way I write. Nowadays I listen to a bunch of different artists. And it's hard to pinpoint one right now. Like Itzy Twice, older groups like Infinite with their 80s inspired songs and whatnot. Um, do you have any like K-pop artists like from then or now that you're
Yeah,
into?
so I always feel like an old head because like I love like Super Junior and like I used to like SS501 and I'm forgetting the other group right now. Obviously like Girls' Generation. Like I really
Yeah.
like became a K-pop fan like around that time and then kind of fell off. And then
Hmm.
I think it was just like at some point like there was just too many groups to keep up with right now. Oh, I like 2NE1 also, of course. And yeah,
Yes.
and I think at some point I was just like, oh my God, this is too much. I cannot keep up. I give up. And now I'm just like, I don't know anything except for BTS.
You know what? It's okay. It got
Yeah.
super saturated. Oh, also, Girls' Generations, what's it called? Anniversaries
Oh, wow.
today.
Look at
Ah,
that.
so, yeah. Yeah, I got into them too. I was like, holy crap, there's 9 of them. That's a
Yeah.
lot of girls. But, they held it down.
They really did. They really did. I feel like there were such trailblazers for a lot of the acts we see today. Like even BTS, like I don't think people realize like how many artists there were before them that did have crossovers into the United States, but just wasn't as
Yes.
big as BTS.
Yes, exactly. I remember when Seven from YG like teamed up with Little Kim.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that. That's
Oh, I just snorted. Oh my God,
wow.
sorry. Because he was out here in the club with Lil Kim, and I was like, how y'all manage that? So I
Dang.
mean, she was fresh out the pen at that point. She was like, I'm looking for a feature. So respect to her. She's an OG, but it was just funny. I was like, I did not see that coming. But Wonder Girls came out here too, and then Girls' Generation came out here too, and Boa, like I said, with that first expansion into, America and whatnot. So that was kudos to her for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Boa and on the Japanese side, Ayumi oh gosh,
Hamasaki,
Hamasaki. I
yes,
feel like
I got you.
those two are like, thank you, like held it down for the early 2000s, for the 99 and the 2000s.
For sure. And I was like, oh my goodness. No, for real. I think I started watching a lot of like Asian concerts and I'm like, yo, I have never ever in my life seen a concert this grandiose. Like usually we kind of just get like cutesy, like here we are on the stage, here are the speakers and a live band, which is awesome. But like in Asia, you get the live band, you get the dancers, you get the staging, and I'm like, holy cannoli. I mean, nowadays the concerts are a lot more bigger and a lot more grand, but like in the early 2000s, I didn't really see that. I mean, um, Chris, bring up Chris again. He actually like introduced me to some more Kylie Minogue stuff, and he showed me like her Aphrodite concert, and she had a fountain. She had like this like very sexy harnessed men dressed as horses pulling her chariot. Like she was going for this full Aphrodite concept. Like there was an angel Eros like carrying her as she was he was flying to her as she was singing. I'm like, geez, this is huge, and I've never seen anything that grand since like you said, Ayumi and Poa. So it was like, holy smokes. So yeah, they had it on lock for sure.
Yeah, the production is out of this world, and it's so cool. But and yeah, before I realized what was happening in my brain, I kept thinking Hayao Miyazaki, and my brain was like, no, Ayumi Hamasaki.
Oh my
And my
god.
brain was like Hayao Miyazaki, and it was just like, no, that's not it. Oh,
It's okay. It's
yeah.
okay. It happens.
But speaking of Chris, we brought him up a few times. So he's your co-host on CCTV. So tell me, what's that about? Like, what do you guys talk about?
So CCTV is a labor of love, for sure. So basically, Chris and I talk about pop music. Um, and we bring a perspective in the sense where he used to work for a record label, a pretty major label here in New York, and I am an artist. And even though I'm not signed, I've worked for like a a Korean publishing company, and so we talk about certain things that happen in the production. We talk about the music. We talk about overall stage presence, and we try to bring our nostalgia and our love for pop into the forefront of it. Even if we do critique something, we try to provide an alternative, not just like, oh my god, this was crap. Okay, why wasn't it good? Okay, this drum was just a little awkward. The snare was awkward. I feel like this should have ended with a harmony, not just solo vocals. We try to provide perspective that is a little bit untapped, but still try to have fun. It's definitely been a really enjoyable experience working with him. Um, in that sense. And we talk about K-pop, talk about Western pop, UK pop as well, which also influenced a lot of K-pop, and I don't think people realize that. But yeah, we talk about pop, 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 pop. Um, and we try not to get into like the gossip of things, which is probably why our channel hasn't like skyrocketed because we don't bring that crap up unless it talks about the growth of an artist or how it may have affected the art of negatively. We don't really get into messy things, which I appreciate because neither one of us are messy.
Yeah, that is nice. I feel like there's so many podcasts and outlets that do that, and it's nice just to talk about the music. Like I will talk about messiness sometimes if it relates to the music. It's like, oh, what is this
Nice.
person doing? Like, the whole Beyonce thing, but like, talking about that with like Lemonade, and it's like, okay, like there's a connection here. We're not just like gossiping about her life, but yeah,
Right, the context.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's so cool that you guys like break down the music in that way. And I don't think I hear that often. It's I hear a lot like the lyrics were good, or the and I talk about a person who's like
Yeah.
I also like am terrible at doing reviews. I feel because I'm always just like, oh, what did I like about this song? So
It's okay.
I think that is cool that you guys can do that, and I definitely need to listen to some episodes because I am slacking.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's definitely hard to do. I remember, it's definitely tough, especially when you have an artist that you do like. There's been times where like there's this artist I love, One.
Sounds familiar.
Side note, I let him break my heart. I would let him break my heart.
I get it.
Okay, he's oh my god, he's everything. Anyway, so I had to watch a video, and I did not like it as much as I liked his first single. And I watched the video like 10 times. I remember very vividly watching it 10 times, and I had to find something each time. Like Chris, he'll watch it and he'll say something about it that I may not notice. And then I'll say something that he may not have noticed. So it's nice to have two set of eyes as opposed to just one person saying, "Yeah, so the video it's very hard to do that." So um I don't blame you if you don't notice certain things like the first time, because I have to watch things. I have to listen to it constantly, especially if I hear a certain like instrumental or something or like a beat. I'm like, this sounds like something else. Like my recall game is crazy. He's like, I didn't hear that. And I'll send him something. I'm like, this sounds just like this. And then he's like, whoa, I didn't notice. So yeah, I'm just obsessive when it comes to like trying to hear certain things and trying to see certain things that some other people might not notice. So because it helped me with my artistry. I'm like, why is this song bad? Or why is not bad? Why is this song meh? Or why is this song great? It's because he decided to use a minor chord instead of a major one, and it really resonated with my spirit, that kind of thing. So
Yeah. I appreciate all of that. I think that's so true. I do have that thing where I can like, this sounds like this other thing. But
yeah,
but I think yeah, that's so cool to be able to do, to be like, oh, like if they would have like had their voice a little bit stronger at the end, because there are songs like I don't like as much as other songs, or like songs I'm like, this doesn't move me as much. And I think there are reasons for that. And it's like whether it's in the production or like
totally.
the singing, or something else, even like like you said, like a minor chord change or something that they decided to do. And there really is a science to it, to a degree.
Oh my gosh, yes, and I'm not exactly the utmost authority on
You're
it,
better than
but
me.
I like to try to stop it. But I do try to create that dialogue. So typically, when people do leave comments, even though we are maybe roasting sometimes, it's with like evidence. Like this is why we didn't like it. So the conversation, there's like a positive discourse. We've only had like a couple people just say this sucked, and I'm like, okay. And then Chris is like, okay, so tell us what you guys liked about it, and there's no response. So for the most part, a lot of people when we do discuss it with fans, they leave like long paragraphs. We can have a civil conversation, and I think because we lean more toward constructive criticism as opposed to just this wasn't good, and we provide evidence as to why, and we don't have any conflicts just yet. But K-pop fans probably haven't found our Blackpink one. We were kind of harsh with the Blackpink one.
Yeah, that will do it. I mean, people go hard for their faves, and it just is what it is.
Indeed.
But going back to you, because you talk about like, I feel like talking about what you talk about on CCTV and being an artist. I want to know, like, do you have any advice for someone who wants to become a multi-hyphenated music artist, especially as an indie artist? What advice would you give to someone?
Don't. Just don't. I'm joking. I'm joking
A lot
partially.
of people give that advice on the show, and it's really funny. Not just for this, just not even just for like getting into music, but for like various different things. And I'm just like, okay, I get it.
That's not helpful. It's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. Um, okay. The reason I say don't is because what ends up happening is that you'll have your hand in the pot constantly, almost to the point where you're burning yourself when you need to let someone else cook that item or whatever. So with this video, I did everything except maybe produce the song, and I didn't produce the song. I did not hold the camera and I did not choreograph, but I almost did. I literally have like a minute's worth of choreo that I was going to send to the choreographer, and I had to step back because what ends up happening is you turn into a control freak. It's like I need to be like this, but then again your vision is as clear as it's ever going to be, and if you can't find people to align themselves with what you want, if you're like me you'll probably drop them, or if you're like or you'll tolerate it. But for me, I'm the kind of person where it's like if you're not getting it, it's a little frustrating because I'm the type of person, because I know what I want and because I have experience in so many little things, I give examples. I try to provide the utmost like information that you could possibly have. I try to be as thorough as possible so there is no room for you didn't tell me that. So when it doesn't happen, you're like, why can't I just do it myself? And you'll start getting into this whole like mindset of I could do this myself. I could do this myself, where eventually you might get stuck doing a lot of stuff by yourself. And that's why I say don't. Now, if you do want to become a multi-hyphenate, it is good because it's good for your game. And I know it sounds kind of like strange, but it's good for your game. I've been watching a lot of Big Brother, but in the sense of networking, you want to come across as someone where it's like, oh, we need someone to kind of like help out, with the recording. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. No, no, not singing. No, no, I can do that. I can press the button. I can stop it. I can cut the files. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't mix very well, but I can do the bare minimum where if someone did come in and mix it, they could. Oh, we need to do something with the music video. I can help out with styling. I can help out with lighting because I do have experience in it. Um, so it's good to have that kind of thing. But it does get stressful. So I lean more towards don't so that you can focus on your craft and make yourself the best you can. But if you want to become multi-hyphenated, go for it. But just understand that you need to take a step back and let other people do their job.
That
So
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like trust your team. They know what they're doing, even if they may not always share the same vision with you, but like at least the technical skills are usually there. And yeah, just I guess
right.
you know who to collaborate with, and you'll learn along the way. You're like, oh, okay, this person I vibe with, this person, and not so much. But
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, it's been like that for me for sure. Each project I actually do have like different set of people each time. Not on purpose, but um, it just helps me. And luckily, because I have like this whole like jack of all trades thing going on, if something isn't the way I want it, I can articulate it in a nice way. I'm not a mean person, and I know I come across as stern when I'm explaining this,
mm,
but well, thank you.
clear and
Um,
direct.
but exactly, I'm very clear about what I want, so that people don't say, "Well, you didn't tell me that." It's definitely helpful to have that. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then, just like Sailor Moon had her, Sailor Moon says phrase at the end of every episode. What would your phrase be? So Sailor Chantel says.
Sailor Chantel says, or Shanny Moon, as my mom
Yeah.
likes to call. So Shanny Moon says, say thank you. One thing about me is that even if you were just there holding the speaker, or if you were there and you handed me a tissue, I give credit where credit is due. As much as it is nice to be a multi-hyphenated person, it is also nice to have people who have your back. Smallest thing. I paid people hourly for rehearsal and I paid them for the video. It wasn't a lot, but I wanted them to know that your time will not be wasted because time is an unrenewable resource. So make sure people are giving you that. You say thank you, you show gratitude because they don't have to do anything for you. Even if you are paying them, they don't have to be there. And the fact that they chose you is a testament to their character and as well as yours. So make sure you show gratitude for sure.
That is so true. And then now there's someone playing music like right outside my window because like no one knows I'm recording, but it's fine. Um, so what's next for you, and where can people find you?
Well, what's next? Okay, so basically, hopefully, more music. It's a little slow. That's another thing too. Being a multi hyphenate is finding out where your next paycheck is coming from. So right now is to work on the next single and the promo for that. Um, yeah, I definitely am going to release another single for the fall. It's going to be a lot more sultry and sensual. So yeah, that's next. And where people could find me is Miss MS, period. Chantel Nicole on everything except TikTok. On TikTok, I'm actually Okie Toki, which is which is interesting because I'm going viral on TikTok because of K-pop and some other little silly things I'm doing up there. But yeah, everything else is Ms. Chantel Nicole. At everything for sure, and definitely be on the lookout for more fun stuff because I don't just do music. I do CCTV and I content create and I choreograph and all that other good stuff and work
And how do
backstage.
you spell okie dokie?
OKKI. So it's Korean for bunny, which is something that my
Oh, is
family
that
calls
another
me.
Sailor Moon reference, or is that just coincidence?
No, actually, I had a rabbit when I was younger. Her name was Asia. I don't know why her name was Asia, which is really weird how my life turned out.
It's
But yeah, I had a
predestined.
rabbit named Asia. Really foreshadow, a foreshadow bunny. And yeah, I call my dad Rabbit because he his teeth, and then the way he eats salad, like all the time. So I just call him Rabbit, and yeah, and he called me Bunny, so it just stuck. And then I told my friend who knew Korean. She goes, "You like Sailor Moon, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was thinking like maybe like Usagi, because I was going to be a dancer." And I was like, "Usagi kind of sounds extremely Japanese." And she's like, "Toki is Korean for rabbit." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's a perfect dance name." I just stuck with it, but I don't dance anymore. I mean, I do, but not backgrounds anymore as much. Let's try it. So yeah, that's the backstory for that.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that because
That's the
Bunny is
backstory
also
for that.
her nickname in the manga, so I was like, oh, so funny how things happen. And you
Yes.
have a bunny named Asia, which is the country she's from. Anyway,
I know, it's so bad. It's so
well,
weird how my life
it
turned
was
out.
all meant to be.
Indeed. Kismet.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Victoria. Again, I appreciate it, seriously, because even though I'm multi-hyphenated, it's nice having someone else to talk to as opposed to, no offense to Chris, but it's have people who care. So again, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I totally get it. And it's always fun talking to such amazing guests like yourself. And then once again, I'm Victoria L. Johnson, host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. You can find us on all podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, I would really appreciate it. And give us 5 stars maybe if you like the episode. You can also find me at Miss Old School. It's Old School with a K on Twitter and Instagram, and on TikTok at Sailor Victoria. And you can also find our merch at mooniesclub.com. And if you want to follow the podcast, we're at Moonies Club on Twitter and Moonies_Club on Instagram. And thanks for listening, Moonies. Bye.